Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the channel, to the show. I hope everybody had a great day and a great week. It's been like 5 or 6 days since
Everyone,
on live.
that
It's been since last Saturday night, yeah, because we took last Sunday off. So it's been a long week. Let's see who all we got here. We got Johnny Angel, we got Leslie, Emily L's here, Prepper 101's here. Uh,
so
Wait for a
Prepper
few more
101.
to get on
Emily
here.
L.
Yeah, Emily's
Emily L.
here.
Emily says she's melting.
Dusty, what's going on, brother? Yeah, it's hot, man. It's not
I
too
know.
bad down here where I'm at. It's hot. Live free. How's it going?
What's
How is
up?
it
What's
going?
up? Yeah, man. It flat went from pretty nice weather except for rain to freaking scorching here today. It's been about 100 here all day.
It's
Humidity
actually
about
been pretty
humidity.
nice here. It's been in the low 80s today. It was actually really comfortable outside to work in the yard.
Man, it's about 100 with about 88% humidity today. Dude, I went out and all I did was loaded my four-wheeler, which basically just drove it up into the truck and then strapped it down and got a few other things ready and stuff for that stuff I got to do in the morning. And shoot, man, it was like I was wringing freaking wet, man. It's hot.
Yeah, it wasn't that hot here, but the humidity's been high. It's been through the roof. It's been sprinkling all day long, so the humidity stayed, between 80 and 95% like all day. So even if it's only 85 degrees, when you got 90% humidity, it's unbelievable. Monty, what's going on? Wendy Benjamin, hello. Ginger Ninja, Angela Bowles, hello. Tia Albright, welcome. Sardis Co, what's going on? How's everybody today?
I was thinking, a lot of people, what's going on this early, I was thinking, man, a lot of people probably out still doing stuff. And then I got to thinking about it and I was like, shoot, man, they might be like, man, Ghost is live. I'm just going to go ahead and quit now. It's hot. Let me go in the air conditioner and watch
You,
some
you can blame me on. You can blame it on me. Sandra Moody, Rosanna, what's going on?
Hey, Leslie,
Mark,
Angela.
there. Welcome, Jess. Hello, Jess.
What's up,
Zah,
Tito?
what's going on? Yeah, so I have some pretty
Johnny?
exciting news to share with everybody.
Yeah.
Last night, the Canimals got together and threw me a surprise birthday party live stream for my birthday yesterday. That was really awesome. I so much appreciate that. It was great. It was really, really fun. It was really good. Virginia even made me a little birthday cupcake. Hey, Susanna. And she blew the candle out and then she ate it, which sucked. I didn't get to eat any of it, but hey, what are you going to do? Yeah. It was really
Wait,
cool. It was fun.
I don't know if that part sounds very right or not.
I know, right? Yeah, but they tricked me pretty good, man. Jess invited me on with her live, and then they kind of ambushed me. It was really good. It was a good birthday surprise, and then it was really neat. And then other exciting news, I got two more full-blooded New Zealand whites rabbits yesterday. They're only 6 weeks old. I got a buck and a doe. And then today I bred one of my does for the first time, Zah. I bred her successfully, had three real good fall offs. I mean, just like back to back within 5 minutes. So it looks like it was a successful breeding. So in 30 days, I should have some kits. I do believe that the dark gray rabbit that I got may be a male. I'm gonna resex him again tomorrow, or it again tomorrow. But I decided to go ahead and name my rabbits. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody know what the names are. The big buck that I have, the big brown buckskin that I got, the New Zealand, his name is Tribe. Go ahead and named him after Prepper Tribe. His name is Tribe. Everybody knows that the gray and white is Zah. Zani named that one. And then the dark gray one is Susanna. The white is Virginia. and the two small white ones that I have, the female New Zealand white is milkmaid, and then the other New Zealand white is Backwoods. So I'm naming all my rabbits, all my breeding
Yeah.
rabbits after my YouTube friends. So
Well, that's pretty cool.
now they may
Yeah.
have to. Now Susanna's may have to change since I'm pretty sure that one is going to end up being a boy, not a girl. So I may have to switch them around a little bit, but we'll see.
You could change it from Susanna to Zana.
Well, Zah named the gray one. She named the gray one back a month ago.
Zana.
Huh?
That could be a good, in between name. You wasn't sure if it was a girl or a boy, and so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's up to Susanna. If she don't care if it's a boy or a girl, then I'll just call him Susanna. I don't care. It ain't gonna matter none. But if she wants another female, then I'll get another female, and I'll just name him Native.
Be like a boy named Sue.
Yeah. So, but I moved them into I changed their pen up. I got them out into the woods today. I got it all set up so they're under tree cover, nice and cool. So hopefully they'll be happy. They seem to like it. And the new cages I built have the drop-down nest boxes in it. I'm gonna do one set of cages with the drop-down boxes and the other set with nest boxes and see how they work the best. But so I've got 6 now, and for sure 2 of them are males. I think 3 of them are males. So.
Well, Zane, I have no doubt in my mind that you're all woman. So, all of you. I ain't met none of you yet that ain't on here. But hey, Milkmaid, how's it going, Kim's?
What's going on, Dangerous? Moon Child.
Dangerous.
Bulldog.
Who's that guy?
I don't know. I have no clue. Yes, it was an interesting day. I spent the whole day getting the set up and getting them covered and getting the food and water and all done in, and getting the ceramic tiles put in there and getting them anchored down so they don't move, so they got something to sit on to stay cool. Putting the tarp up. I've got them covered with a tarp for right now, until the prices of wood come down where I can build them a roof. And I think I'm actually going to go with that composite stuff, that not the corrugated, but the wavy composite, that hard plastic stuff. I think I'm going to use that for the roofing material.
Corrugated.
Because I won't ever have to change it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's corrugated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I successfully moved my chickens out today. My little chicks, they're getting big enough now, and I moved them out there. And what I did is, basically, I'm gonna leave them out there. I've got them right up against the big pen, so they can kind of run back and forth with the other chickens for a little bit. And then I'm gonna leave them out there, and I've got a deal over them there where they can get some shade. And so I'm about to get ready to move them girls out to the chicken pen.
Oh, sweet.
Let them meet Rudy Poop.
Appalachian Rudy Poop. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, so guys, tonight I've been so busy and I didn't really have a chance to pick out a really good scenario. I've still got several left, but a lot of them are kind of the same, and they're starting to get kind of not generic, but they're starting, like I've got, I think 6 scenarios left, and 4 out of the 6 scenarios revolved around mags and people in your area. Basically, the gist of it was how to get along, kind of thing, before, during, and after a shift. Hey, Ronnie Braun and Gardner Josh, how y'all doing? So what I figured we'd do tonight was kind of just talk about networking and working as a team, so to speak, whether it's a mag situation or not. And the reason that I thought of doing that, hello, Tamara Reynolds, was because of some things that have happened to me here in the past. Everybody knows that I just relocated to North Carolina, or back to North Carolina from Florida a few months ago, in a completely different new area to me, no family, within 60 miles at least, a town that I'd never been to before. I just found the house and bought it. So I'm completely don't know anybody other than my two family members that are here with me. So I was in a situation of, obviously in my mind and most people's minds that are in this community is we're pre-shift right now, if not, on the pre-log or the first couple of pages of the first chapter of shift right now. So I was kind of withdrawn from people in the neighborhood and in the community, in a prepper mindset. But what I realized is that when I didn't necessarily open up, but when I kind of tested the waters, I started to learn a lot of things. It's like when I was building my rabbit hutches, my neighbor was building his chicken hutch, and then boom, now I got eggs, now he's got rabbit meat, and it was like really cool because I was withdrawn from everybody, including the neighbors, because I didn't know them. But now over the last several weeks, I've gotten to know them. I just gave them some tomato suckers today off my tomatoes. Gave them rabbit manure, put in their garden, and their garden exploded. She's like, "Oh my God, this stuff's crazy." I'm like, "Get your shovel, come get as much as you want, because these rabbits are pooping overtime." I got rabbit poop coming out of my mouth right now. So I've networked with these guys, and she's an avid canner. All this stuff is coming out, and it's really great. And then it just so happens 2 days ago, I'm laying in the bed, bored. I decided to go on Craigslist, and I typed in rabbits, and then it pops up. Somebody's got some meat rabbits for sale, only 6 weeks old. And then I reached out to him. I'm like, "You got?" He goes, "I got all kinds of rabbits. What are you looking for?" I said, "Meat rabbits, New Zealand's or California, something like that." He goes, "Well, come on out and take a look, see what you like." So the guy invited me over to his house, and he's only 3 miles away from me. And I mean, he's 3 miles by the road, but as the crow flies, he's about 1.5 miles from me. I can walk to his house in a couple hours. But so I get to this guy's house. It's all fenced off, a nice piece of property, about 15 acres. Real cool dude. Now, as we walk past his house back into the woods, he hasn't cleared his land. It's all woods. He just got a little 4-wheel drive, like a 4-wheeler path cut through there. But he's got 8 guardian livestock dogs that he raises and he sells. He's got Backwoods. I shit you not. This guy's got probably 200 minimum 200 chickens.
Wow.
Roosters, laying hens, meat birds, everything. He's got over 300 rabbits. And I mean, he was raising the champagnes, the silver foxes, the New Zealands, the Californians, he walks me through is this massive rabbitry, right? And I'm like, holy cow. I spent 2 hours with this guy. I bought 2 rabbits from him. I spent 2 hours with him, picking his brain about the best rabbit food, how he breeds them, how he sexes them. And this guy just opens up class. He just has a school with me on, because I'm new to rabbitry. He's answering all the questions I want. He's like, "Bro, lock my number in your phone. You got any questions, you let me know." I'm asking him about IVC totes and all this other stuff. He's like, "Dude, there's an auction right around the corner. A lot of people don't know about it. It happens every other week. It's all pigs and cows and chickens and rabbits. It's all the local farmers. They get together and they do this little neighborhood auction like a couple times a month that I never knew about." And if I wouldn't have met this guy, I still wouldn't know about it. But that's the point, when you meet people and you kind of reach out a little bit, you get all this knowledge. I mean, I learned so much from this guy yesterday. Like literally, he's the kind of person, and I could tell when I'm talking to him, he was real open about all this stuff. He showed me what food he gets. He offered to pick up my rabbit food the next time he goes and gets a big batch, because he gets a truckload. He's like, "I'll get you a couple bags. Just let me know what you want. I'll bring it back. It's cheaper than what I'm buying now." He gets it at wholesale prices. So He was a really, really nice guy. So between, my neighbors and now this guy who's, 1.5 miles from me by walking, and he's got, I don't have to worry about eggs no more. I don't have to worry about meat birds no more. I don't have to worry about rabbits no more. I even told him, I want to cross up some of my rabbits and keep my genetics. I mean, because right now I've got 3 lines of genetics in my rabbits, and I'm keeping them separated. So I've got new genes for the gene pool, so that the genes don't get deleted, so I can always produce quality meat and stuff like that. And He said, man, just grab a couple of your females, put them in a cage, bring them over here, and pick what rabbit you want to breed with. I won't charge you. I'm like, for real? You just let me bring a female and breed her one of your. He said, of course, why not? He was a great guy. So that's where the whole networking kind of comes into play, at least in my mind. And
Well,
I remember when. Go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, it's anytime you can find someone, even if they're a couple of hours from you, that's not too bad. You know, it's always good if you can find someone like that, man, to kind of get to know them, and that's just added security,
Yeah.
because, well, I mean, it's just one of them deals where you get to know him. I mean, he's gonna need protection. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
I
mean,
mean,
it was just because I spent 4 months, 3.5 to 4 months looking for rabbits around here close to
wow,
me. And the first 4 rabbits that I got 2 months ago, I had to drive an hour each way to get them. And
wow,
this guy, he got all these rabbits. I'm like, bro, I looked for months to find rabbits. He goes, yeah, I don't do Craigslist. I usually go to the auction. He goes, but I had all these babies that were born, and I was like, man, he said, screw it. I'll just put an ad on Craigslist and see what happens. And I spent months and had to drive 2 hours to get my rabbits, and this guy lives, 3 miles from me, and he's got
no,
better quality rabbits, in my opinion. I mean, they're beautiful. Hey, Susie D, how you doing? Mama Bear prepping? What's going on?
what's up, everybody? Yeah,
But
you don't have to back up away from the screen, man. It's hay fever. I've been out messing with all kinds of stuff today, working on the chainsaw, the weed eater, getting everything ready for a trip I got to take in the morning.
yeah, I mean, networking is important. It's like when I went through the hurricane in Florida, or the hurricanes in Florida. I'd already networked and made friends with a guy that owned the convenience store around the corner, and all the girls that worked for him. So I just picked up the phone before the thing hit, and I'm like, can you, make sure you got, 2 or 3 rolls of tobacco for me? Give me a call when you got ice. And I was on the call list when the truck was on the way. They called me. I was in the parking lot waiting when the ice got there. Not for
Yeah,
me. I was good, but I got it for other people in my neighborhood. I had plenty of tobacco. I had plenty of my adult beverages, things like that. And it comes in handy. I mean, make friends with the guy. It's like at Walmart, when I'm looking for canning jars, I make friends with the dudes that are stocking. I ask them questions. Hey, bro, when did the jars get here? Oh, they get here on Wednesdays. All right, cool. Thanks. I go back on Wednesday. Boom, I got 3 cases of jars. You
yep.
know?
Yeah, I do that kind of stuff too. I mean, it's very important, because different people work at different places and have these different, things that they can offer, and you know, it's always something you want to keep. It's always something you want to keep the people around you, that are useful like that, and of course be useful to the people also,
Yeah.
so that you're, you know, it, and it's real. It just like out of the blue, something that is major that you know, you need some help on. I mean, it may just be something as simple as putting a new freezer, refrigerator into your house. And you got these buddies and stuff, man. These networking buddies, like, hey, man, run by the house real quick and help me put this
Yeah.
new refrigerator in. Man, no problem. They stop by, do it. They call you. Hey, man, old lady needs a ride down to the store. Oh, man, I'll go get her. Go get her and take her to the store and bring her home, and you know. So
My extraordinaire. I am in central southern North Carolina. I am about 5 minutes from the South Carolina border. I'm not too far from Rockingham. Yeah, I mean it's good to do favors for people, man. They remember that stuff, and it comes back around.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And really, just because, I mean, like I got a couple of older ladies that live around me. I'm talking older. But hell, they still get out and cut grass and all that stuff, and they know about canning, and they know about you know, gardening and stuff, and I'm, you know, they know stuff. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
raised kids, you know, doctored on kids. You know what I mean? So they know stuff, and I always try to help them out around here and try to stay
Well, I mean,
friendly with them.
it's like when when Hurricane Irma caught me off guard in Florida. I was making power from my car with my inverters, and I was surviving better than most. But I was taking care of the people in the neighborhood. There was 5 households within 100 yards of my house, and the people that lived there were in their 80s and above. And two of the households were widows that were in their 80s and above. One of them was
Man,
directly across the street. She was a real good friend of my mom's, and so I was taking care of her every day, bringing her ice, stuff like that. And she had a generator. She had a generator, and her son lived like an hour away. And he got my number, and he's like, man, or actually he was there taking care of her generator, getting it started, getting it wired up. And he asked me, he said, man, would you mind, coming over, in the mornings or at night, checking the fuel, make sure there's gas in this generator. He showed me how to unhook it from this, because he wasn't doing it the legitimate way, how he had it plugged into the box. He showed me how to do it the illegal way. And, to fill it up and make sure there's gas in there to keep the fridge and everything running the house. I said, yeah, no problem. So I did that for 3 or 4 days. And then he got his power back on early. Where he lived wasn't hit that hard. He drove an hour up to check on his mom, and he brought me his brand new 7,500 watt DeWalt generator that he had just bought before the hurricane hit. He'd only used it for 3 days at his house. He brought it, wheeled it into my backyard, and said, "Here, you can use this till your power gets back on, free of charge for taking care of my parents or my mom." I'm like, that was awesome. That was like, really? You didn't have to do that. I'd still take care of them. They're my friends. But I mean, it was just because I was taking care of his parents. He brought me his, $1,500 generator and just set it in my backyard and said, "Rock and roll, use it until you get your power back."
You
And that was all network.
you ever think about the fact that they don't really show real hard on some of these apocalyptic shows? But I'm going to tell you, just by knowing how much stuff has been growing here because of all the rain, you know, if it did ever turn Mad Max or bad enough and you couldn't get fuel, how are you going to keep? Now, I'm not saying, your yard groomed. Like, I mean, nobody's going to give a shit at that point. But I'm saying we went to one house that hadn't been done all, since last summer. And, dude, I mean, the
Yeah.
weeds were like freaking tall, dude. And I was just, thinking on that some today about, having some extra tools and stuff that, like one of those sling sickles, you know what I'm saying? To just kind
I
of
used to
keep
use
some.
those growing up.
Yeah, I've used them too, and having a few old, hand type tools like that, maybe even one of them old style mowers with the blades. Boy, them would be nice if you could find one of them.
Florida. I had the old style mower because my yard was so small. I'm like, why would I waste the gas? I mean, my yard was
Right.
tiny. I used the push mower, the old kind. You can get them off Amazon for like $40, bro. And I sharpened the crap out of those blades, and I can
Huh.
literally cut my grass in my yard faster with that than I could putting gas in a gas lawnmower, cutting it and then putting it up. I mean, people are spoiled, man. I mean, it's all this technology and all this new stuff. People get spoiled. People get lazy. It's
Well,
it's
that's
like here, my yard's all wood. I'm not even gonna have a lawnmower. I can do this whole yard with a weed eater, but I think I'm gonna go find me an old fashioned sling blade. The one handle
well,
with
that's
the
what I'm saying. I mean, even if you did have some fuel and there was big fuel shortages, but you had some stored up, would you really want to be using it to just to keep grass knocked down, or would you want to make sure that you had kept plenty for your vehicle? You know what I mean?
exact
If you couldn't get no more.
exactly.
So I was thinking, man, if you had, you know, some of the older tools and maybe some gloppers, some of them, you know what I'm talking about, them big
Yeah, I've
old
got them.
gloppers. Yeah, I've got two or three pair of them, and like I've got one of them hand pole saws, it's
Me
got
too.
the snaps on them. Yeah,
The, oh yeah, I've got one of those. I
Yeah.
got a battery operated, the old fashioned one with the rope or the chain, the rope with the chain at the top that you pull that saws it back and forth. It takes forever, but it works.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
I was just thinking, earlier, like I said, if it did went Mad Max and it was bad, and your grass is not going to stop growing, and you're gonna. I don't know that. I mean, people could say, well, it covers your house, but yet people can sneak up on you a lot easier too. you know.
What's the last thing you want to do in a grid down situation or a shift situation is have a manicured lawn. You know what I mean? You
Well,
want
yeah,
your
no,
place to look, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
I'm not talking about
You want it to
manicure
look,
though. You're
yeah.
gonna have to be able to cut paths and stuff.
Okay. That's one of the reasons why I love the property I got, man. My whole property, front yard and backyard, is woods. This all natural. I mean, it's all natural area. Like my entire yard is, it's like, I'm on the edge of the sand hills. It's mostly, sand, pine trees, a bunch of hardwoods. It's pine straw everywhere. It's all natural area. So it's
Well,
very
I'm
little
just thinking
maintenance.
about a certain amount of it that you'd want to keep cut down around your house to keep, things like snakes,
Oh,
boy, because it'd be a bad deal to get snake bit in a shit hit span situation. Oops,
yeah.
shit
You don't
situation.
want it out of control. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want it out of control, but you definitely don't
Yeah.
want a perfectly manicured lawn and in a grid down type thing. I mean, you kind of want it to look a little messed up. But I mean, I've been here since November. I haven't cut my grass yet. My yard's all shaded. My grass just really doesn't grow. The tallest, I've got very few weeds that are over 8 inches high, and it's like little sprigs, which is
Well,
awesome. I hate cutting
I
grass.
wish, I wish mine didn't grow. I'm, I could cut mine every 3 days, man, and it would still be bad. We're getting so
Mm,
much freaking rain, and then even when it's not raining, you go outside in the morning, and there's so much dew, man. It's just white all the way across your yard because the dew's so thick, and it's like, golly, I ain't never gonna catch a break.
that's my next. That's the only bad thing about rabbits is I wish I had a really good grassy lawn because I could just feed my rabbits the grass and I just put them in rabbit trappers and move them around the yard every day. And they would eat all the grass and they would fertilize the yard and I would have the most beautiful yard in the world. But
Right.
I don't want to lose trees. So what I'm going to do next, my next big project is I'm going to build me a hydroponic fodder system. I'm going to get some wheatgrass, some barley seed,
Hmm.
and I'm just going to grow my own in the basement. The great part is you don't have to have lights to grow the fodder type stuff. Just ambient lights, all you need, because it's a 7-day process. You're basically just sprouting the seed and putting it out there, and you cut it into these little blocks, and you just feed it to your rabbits for basically pennies.
Huh. Yeah, that I've got plenty of grass out here. I usually keep the clippings, and put them in there with my chickens. They love them,
Yeah,
man. They scratch around in them and eat it, and yeah, they love it.
yeah. I
The
was even talking to my neighbor yesterday, this morning. His wife was over here and she was playing with the new rabbits, and I told her, because they've got their yard's clear, so they've got grass growing front and back. And I told her, I said, look, because she said that her husband was talking about making some chicken tractors for his chickens, but because of the price of lumber, he was like waiting. I'm like, well, you can build it out of just wire mesh like I did my rabbit cages, or you can build it out of PVC, you know, and which is a lot cheaper and it's a lot lighter than using wood. But it's like I even told her before, I said, I thought about doing my rabbits on the yard, but yeah, as you can see, I don't got much grass. My whole yard is a natural area. We got plenty of grass. You can put some rabbits over here if you want to. I can get grass, I can feed the rabbits for free, and I plan on figuring out how to do that and just doing it with, the wheatgrass and the barley and grass, because then you're talking, man, you're talking like there's a video on YouTube. I can't remember the channel that did it. It's one of the channels that I watched, and she did an experiment to see just how much it costs to raise a litter or a litter of kits. And she took a brand new 50-pound bag of rabbit pellets and she opened it the day that she bred the mama rabbit. And she only fed the mama rabbit from this bag. And then she fed the mama rabbit and the babies for the whole weaning process until it was time to process them 12 weeks later from that 50-pound bag. And 4 days before she harvested all 8 of the kits, no, excuse me, 7 of the kits. There was 8 kits. She harvested 7. She sold one when it was 8 weeks old for $40. All right. The bag of rabbit feed only costs it's $20, and she sold one rabbit for $40. So she made $20 on the process. She made $20 by feeding the rabbits. If you sell one kit from each litter, it pays for the food to raise those babies, which is a really good way to look at it.
Thank you, Tennessee.
I apologize, guys. I missed that here. I hope I ain't missed anything good. If I did, Emily would tell me.
Kicking at Homestead. I am tired. I'm telling you, I was wringing wet all day long, just sweating. Doing stuff around here.
I just got out of the shower.
Yeah, I took one about an hour ago, but an hour before we started.
All day.
And geez, man, it's just freaking hot, man. I mean, I was just soaked. I drank me one glass of Gatorade, and then I drank water throughout the day. That's why I kept sweating all day. And I did drink me a good glass of Gatorade when I got done, and then I had me another water. So
yes, Gardener Josh, Good Simple Living, one of my favorite channels. I love that channel. Good Simple Living. It was them. Yep, it was them. Good Simple Living. And they have a great theme song. I love their song. But yeah, I mean, it was a good day, man. I got a lot of stuff done. I got a lot more I want to get done. I didn't tell you about my new project, my new idea. I thought of it while I was staring at my ceiling fan the other night before last. I'm like, whoa. All right. So now I got to find me an old ceiling fan or a cheap ceiling fan to see if it works. But I want to get a bunch of magnets, some good, powerful magnets, and completely cut the ceiling fan except for the shaft and the bearings, and mount the magnets opposite to where the magnets will just spin the ceiling fan free forever.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I looked into some stuff like that. I seen this other deal where this guy had made these magnets onto a belt, and he had that belt, and it had these other magnets there, and he just had this like lever thing, and he'd just pull it up and it'd pull the magnets away, you know what I'm saying, and slow it down. And he had it where he could just, the closer he put them magnets, the faster it got. And man, that thing just run a lot.
Be charming. Ghost, what are your plans for the rabbit furs? I have no plans to use the rabbit furs from the rabbits that I have, because I'll be processing them at 12 to 14 weeks, and the skin is too thin. You really can't do anything with the furs. They have to get older for that. Plus, they're just your basic New Zealand and California crosses. There really isn't a market for those furs because they're usually just white, a little bit of brown. But I am seriously thinking about getting some silver foxes and some cream d'argents and some champagne d'argents from that gentleman that I met the other day. And those are the ones you raise for the fur.
You could take them young ones, because that stuff will be kind of tender, and you could make you like some bathing suits and stuff out of it, man.
Yeah, some rabbit fur thongs.
Yeah.
Demeter Solis, Ghost, I got a pressure canner and cooker to press those 16 quart. I don't have a gauge on it, so I don't know how hot it gets. Demeter, that's not even relevant. I mean, you don't have to have a gauge. That's what the weight's for when you're heating it up. Like, watch our show tomorrow. Susanna, I believe Susanna, yes, she's in the room. Susanna, correct me if I'm wrong. You have a Presto. You don't have to have the gauge. The temperature's right when the jiggler starts jiggling, and you just make sure that it jiggles 3 to 5 times a minute, and you're good.
Oil the gasket?
Yeah.
I'm saying, I mean, that's right, ain't it? She needs to make sure to oil the gasket on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to oil the gasket. for real.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can kicking it. I don't know if I'm gonna get into all that. I plan on the skin, the organs, the bones, everything from the rabbits is going right into the compost pile. That's where I'm gonna supplement my, because right now I add blood and bone meal to my garden. But if I'm putting bones and the blood in the compost pile with the manure, with the repurposed dirt, then essentially I'm getting blood meal and bone meal in there with it. So I'm gonna try to have a monster awesome dirt. But I plan on composting all of it down.
Better put that joker away from the house. It's gonna be stinky.
Well, I'm gonna bury the it'll be in the bottom of the pile,
Right.
but it'll be back.
It's still gonna, over time it'll get stinky.
Oh yeah, it's gonna stink.
Oh, I'm not having any more. I'm not having any more problems with stuff getting my tomatoes.
Well, that's good. You figured out what was it? It was in birds.
Mockingbird. There's a
How'd you
mockingbird. There's one mockingbird. Yeah, he don't live here anymore.
He moved, huh? He packed his stuff and left, huh?
Yeah, he packed up and left.
Yeah, he got evicted.
He got evicted. All right. Man, that sucker got like 5 of them before I was able to catch his butt. 5 of my
Well,
tomatoes.
I was 3 days ago. I got up early in the morning. I was feeding Buddy. I was fixing to go out, and I went out and I fed the rabbits and watered the rabbits. I come back inside. I was at the kitchen sink. And I'm looking out the back window, and I look over the rabbit cages, and I see a wild rabbit, cottontail, up there at the rabbit cages, basically talking to my rabbits, just kind of hanging out and kicking it, just chilling.
Right.
I thought, oh, that's cute. He's hanging out with the neighbors, whatever. The next morning, I go outside, and my celery and my onions gone. That little bastard.
Yeah.
He got the celery and the onions. I mean, he got up in the pot because he was a tiny little one. He's probably only a couple months old, but he just brutalized my celery and the onions. They're toast. He wasn't tall enough to reach but then again, they don't want to eat the tomatoes because that'll kill them. That ain't good for them. But the leaves anyway. But he left everything else alone, thank goodness. But I'm gonna have to go ahead and fence that in probably this week, maybe tomorrow if I get a chance. Go ahead and fence it in.
Yeah, I got a long freaking day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's altogether by the time we get to the deer lease, I'm sure it's going to be about a 4-hour drive. It usually is. And then, by the time we stop, because we'll have to get ice for cold waters out there, but we're going out there in the woods and going to be chainsawing and weed eating and stuff like that around the deer camp and trying to clean a bunch of stuff up, clean up some of the shooting lanes and everything. While we really wanted to do it when it was good and leafy, you know what I'm saying? So you could really see, down through there, man, that's, there's a lot of limbs down through here, and just go down through there and cut all of them off. Of course, there's going to be, snakes, but I'll have the pew pew sidearm, and I think I'm gonna sport the 357 tomorrow.
Well, that ought to do it.
Old Ruger Blackhawk. I like that old thing. That's a good old.
That was my handgun. Ruger.
That was your
Blackhawk. That was my first handgun. Old cowboy, old wheel gun. It was a good gun and accurate. My God, that thing was accurate.
Yeah, I love mine.
Susanna. I see we got Susanna in here and the milkmaid. You guys heard that I named 2 of the rabbits after you, right? The rabbits are Susanna, Virginia, Milkmaid, and Zai. And then the big buck is Tribe, and the new buck that I just got is Backwoods. So I named all the rabbits after my YouTube folks and the canimals. Thank you, Tennessee Tactical. The Cannon show is going pretty good. We got a special guest coming next week. I'll put a video out about that this week. This guest can only hang out for about an hour, but this guest, it is a female. She's going to come on and teach us her method for raw packing chicken. Because somebody was asking about that last week. So we're going to raw pack some chicken, bones and all. Now, you don't have to do the bones, but I think she does hers bones and all with the thighs. I'm probably just going to raw pack whole breasts, but we'll see. But yeah, so we got a special guest coming next week.
I do love that. I do love that 357 because I can shoot them 38s out of it.
Yeah.
But man, I'll be honest with you, I don't have near as many 38s as I do the 357. So I was like, I'm just going to take, I've got a bunch of more cheap blinker rounds, you know, which I mean, it's good rounds. They're everything I got's lead tip or hollow point for that thing. But yeah, man, that's going to be a heck of a day. And now I got to drive home after that. So,
yeah. Well, I know it's got a lot of work to do here this weekend. I want to get the rabbitry finished and get it set up, get my second cage moved down there. And then I spent a couple hours today online making up forms for the breeding. Each rabbit has its own Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that covers, their description. I'm going to take a picture of each rabbit and superimpose it on the spreadsheet, but it's going to show what day they were bred, who they were bred to, when they got their nest box, when they kindled, how many babies they had, how many babies died, when I rebreed them, the harvesting date, so I can keep track of it and track the performance of each rabbit along with each, doe and buck. Because it'll get out of hand with when you got 8 or 12 rabbits going at it.
Susanna.
What'd she say?
She was just talking about Cannon.
Oh.
She's talking about
If it was Susanna,
Cannon.
she's probably talking about
she said she'd rather take the meat off the bones. I don't like soft bones in my meat.
Yeah, same here. I feel you. Yeah, I'm probably just going to can whole chicken breasts.
I won't be able to be there Saturday, I won't be able to be here Saturday. No. Because we've been trying to get this guy to go up there to that lease forever, so it's one of them deals. If we don't grab him, I mean, he's like, well, I can be there tomorrow. If we don't go, we may not get him back around for a long time. So, I won't be home in time. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes, Milkmaid, you have a rabbit. Her name is Milkmaid.
Oh, Suzanne.
I bred Za today. Tomorrow I'm breeding either Virginia or Susanna. I know that sounds weird, doesn't it? Oh. Ghost, this is stupid. Can bunny rabbits breed with meat rabbits in the wild? Yeah, rabbits are rabbits. They're the same species. They can interbreed. But I'm not doing that. I'm keeping away from the wild rabbits because Milkmaid even brought it up. There's diseases.
Yeah, I don't see. I mean,
yeah, they can breed.
I don't see why they wouldn't. Kicking it homestead.
Any species of rabbit, any type rabbit can breed with any other rabbit as long as the parts can reach each other. Just like a dog, every single dog on the planet, a Chihuahua, can breed with a Great Dane. It's gonna kill the mama dog if she's the female, if she's a Chihuahua, but genetically they can breed. Rip curl. I gotta put that up here. Ernie
Uh,
Carl's it's like a lucky troll doll. At least it's a lucky troll.
man. Yeah, I don't know the mag situation, man. It's just something you're going to have to really work on. I think it's going to be super important. When you can't just run to the store, especially if they're like, hey, on this day you can go, you know, A through whatever goes on this day, because they've done that kind of crap before, and you go up there and get a sack of groceries, and then that's all you get to shop. You don't get to shop, you just get a sack of groceries and go home. But it'd
Yeah,
be nice if they were out of something, you know what I mean, and then the other person did get it, but you got something they wanted, and I mean it's always good to have friends and people to barter with and people that you can exchange, work stuff for.
yeah. I mean, it's important. I don't necessarily have a mag. I I kind of wish I did, but I'm glad I don't, because I don't want to deal with all those personalities
Yeah,
on a daily basis or a weekly basis right now when I don't need to. You know what I mean?
right.
You know, in a post shift, then yeah, we can talk dealing with personalities, because then it's you have to. But I mean, it would be good to have a mag to do the personalities, but I'm cool not having to deal with it right now. I'm cool with just hazardly running into people that think just like me, like my neighbors and the guy I got the rabbits from. You know what I mean? It was an
Right.
accident, but boom, there's four people, pow, and a bug out location. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just never know, it's, if you don't kind of ask or kind of start to, but then things like that particular guy, you can tell pretty well, that he knows something's up. You know what I mean?
bro,
Some
he's got his
bughead.
shit wired. He's got probably a half acre fenced in, full of chickens. Each chicken's got their own run, and inside that half acre are two full-grown guardian livestock dogs that never leave the inside of that half acre. That's where they live. Nothing goes in there.
Yeah, that's the way to do it for sure.
But you want to talk about some beautiful chickens, man? He had some of the most gorgeous roosters I have ever seen in my life, bro. He had a couple roosters out there that I bet you them sons of guns they were the size of turkeys, man. They were 16, 18 pounds. They were massive, and I mean gorgeous. The coloring,
I,
I mean, there's just chickens everywhere. Bitty's just running all over the place.
I don't know how big Rudy Poot is, but I can tell you he's not far off from that. I can guarantee it. He like sitting there thinking about a turkey, that I've done before for Thanksgiving. He's near about that size, man. He's huge, dude. God, dog,
It's,
he's huge.
and it was really weird, dude, because the entire time I was there for 2 hours, and I didn't hear one rooster crow, not
Hmm.
one. I meant to ask him, what are you doing, drugging these things up where they ain't crowing? Not one. And you would think with that, because there's at least 30, if not 50 roosters there.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know why,
Did you
unless
go?
it's because they're all in such close proximity that they're like, what's the point? Let's just not make all that racket.
Did you try to go catch one?
Hell no.
What?
No, sir. They all had them hooks was there, and they, no, sir. I want to
Spurs?
part.
Yeah, they got some spurs on them, don't they?
When you're walking down the path, and they're all in their own, and I mean, he had them staked out. They were all staked and hooked by one leg. When you're walking down the path and all the roosters walk towards you instead of away, no, I don't need to. No, that's no. I'm good. I'm good. I'm here for rabbits. I ain't here to get messed up.
You get one of them
I still
old.
got paws rooster in the backyard at the farm growing up. That thing got on my back and clawed me something fierce.
Yeah, they'll get you.
Man, what are you talking about?
I've been trying to get my neighbor over there.
Do what?
My neighbor over here, he keeps saying he wants one of them roosters I got, and I keep telling him, come on over, man. I'm gonna set the tripod up in the video camera and let him go in and get it.
That'd be a good live stream.
That'd make a heck of a video.
We're at the 50-minute mark. So anybody in the chat, since this is, we're doing scenarios here, anybody in the chat, take a minute and give us a good scenario we can dig into for an hour. While you're thinking about that, I'm going to go to little boy's room. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know, that rooster of mine, that joker boy. What's up, Dusty? That's a big old rooster, and he ain't scared. He'll come right at you. He don't wait till you turn your back. He don't wait till you've been in there a minute. You start to come in that pen, and he's coming at you. He likes to fight. And I think that everybody just, because really, I don't think the lone wolf thing is ever going to be a good thing. I don't know if you've got some kind of really special skills and you've got that mindset, because that's something I believe that it would take a whole different mindset to it would take a whole different mindset to be where you could be alone 24/7. I'm talking months and months. It can get hard on people, and I don't know. I just don't think it's a good idea. God dang. I don't think Ghost wants to turn this dirty. Nope.
What I
do? Nothing. We were just talking.
Well, all I got to do is go back and look at the chat and figure it out. Might as well tell me. Somebody was Susanna. Was she picking on me again?
No, Susanna and the milkmaid's trying to make it dirty.
Uh-oh. Bad cannibals.
Yeah, Susanna talking about not liking soft meat or something, and milkmaid was like, that's what she said. Let me ask you a quick question.
Let me ask you. Professional opinion, please, bro. Professional. I have 4 chickens, about big enough to get out of this brooding thing. I have them in. I don't have a coop yet.
So what do you want to know about a coop?
Sounds like you need to build a coop.
Yeah, I would
build a coop.
I would definitely. I've got a video. You can go back and look at the video of the coop I did, and I'm gonna tell you the price of wood right now. PVC is still not too bad for that smaller stuff, and the fittings are not that bad either. And you just about, because you're pretty much gonna have the same amount of wire. So the only thing you would have to do is, you can just build a freaking box. As far as it goes for, with a slanted roof on it, you can just build a box.
And build just out of the wire. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I did my chicken.
But you want to give them a little place where you can go in and get a go in where you can, get the eggs and stuff, and where they won't lay
Oh,
eggs all over the freaking place. Yeah, you want a
think
coop
about a
type
tractor.
thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was thinking about a tractor.
yeah. Tractors are pretty cool. You could actually build a run, just a chicken run. I've got a video of me building one of them too. I built one of them, and you can put a bottom on it, and you can put some wheels on it, and you can just move the thing around, put a set of handles on the other end of it, and just move the thing around like a little trailer, almost
Yeah,
like a laid down dolly, and just move it right
dude,
around.
they actually make those. They sell them at some of the Home Depots and Tractor Supplies
Oh
and
man,
some of
I
the low. They sell those big monster. No, well, not monster. I mean, they're big to me. Chicken coops out in the front parking lot on wheels. You can just buy
yeah,
them, roll them around.
I've actually got a chicken coop out there that I bought from Tractor Supply. It was, I mean, it for the price of wood anymore. I mean, gosh dang, I don't know. The coops are pretty nice, and then you can just build the pen around it, or do
Yeah,
like I did, and I built my pen, and then I put the coop up against the outside of the pen, and then went on the inside where the door is, and just cut a hole in the wire, and then stapled the wire, around the door frame of that chicken coop, and
yeah,
so they can go in and out, and the coop's on the outside, so we ain't got to go in the pen to access the eggs and all that stuff.
yeah. And I know it's kind of funny, but a lot of people get all technical with these with the places for the chickens to lay their eggs. You know, my uncle, he free ranges his chickens in South Carolina. He ain't got a nesting box nowhere. He walks his yard and he finds out where they lay, and that's just where he goes. They're gonna find a spot to lay. When it's time to lay an egg, they ain't gonna hold it in. They're gonna lay the egg. They're gonna find a
Right.
spot to drop it somewhere.
Yeah,
What
well,
was
I
it?
mean, it's just one of them things. You can go. Yeah, the cost is crazy, but Jopel, what you can do, see what I did on my chicken pen out there, because we have some pretty hard wind here, some straight line winds and stuff, big enough to, I mean, knocks big trees over. So what I did was I went down to the hardware store, and they sell rebar, and I just bought some pieces of rebar, and I took them to my dad's shop, and down at the hardware store they'll cut them for you, so you can get them cut in certain lengths, and I got them in, I think, 5 foot lengths, because they were 10 foot sticks. So I got them cut in half, took them home, took them to my dad's shop, and heated them up and bent them into a candy cane, and then I drove them down in the ground, around my chicken pen, around that PVC on the bottom, and man, it ain't never moved an inch.
Mm.
And the rebar is not that expensive, and if you got somebody that can heat it for you with a torch, man, you can bend it no problem.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Prepper 101. You're running from a large group of bad guys. You, your wife, and 3 kids. One kid is wounded and will die. Do you leave the kid and run, or stay and take your chances? Man, you just went straight morbid. All right. Well, number one, how much does the kid weigh? I mean, if it's like, just a small child, he's running with us. I'm gonna just uh, that's a messed up situation, regardless.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know, uh,
There's
I'd
no
hate to be that, but honestly, if the child was too big to or too heavy to run with, then I'd probably stay. To be honest with you, I'd maybe send my wife and the other 2 kids on ahead, and I'd probably stay. But that's just me.
Yeah, real fast, just because Moonlight said something about 3 Rubbermaid containers
Yeah,
in their area for the chickens, and I agree. I was going to say a minute ago, any kind of these little containers, or anything like that, you have to just give them just a little place, put a little bit of hay or something in it, or grass clippings or whatever. They'll get in there and they'll lay their eggs for you there, Japet. Anyway, so yeah, on that deal, I mean, I can't imagine leaving my kid. That's a
Yeah.
hard scenario because you don't want to put, you know, your wife and the other kid in jeopardy. You know,
Like
because
if I know
um,
for a fact the kid is not going to make it, there's like it's. I mean, I'm going to speed up the process. I know it sounds harsh, but yeah, I mean, if you're talking, it's not a long wait. If you know for a fact that person's not going to make it, which obviously means they're bleeding to death, you're talking about a matter of just a couple of minutes. So it's not going to be a very long hesitation. Yes, Ghost has a head. I'm not wearing a hat. I'm sorry. I've had a massive headache for the last couple of hours, and wearing a hat just makes it worse. So usually, if you see me without a hat on, I'm having one of them days where I've got one of them grains kicking in, and the hat for some reason just amps it up to like level 10. But it's a pretty noggin. I mean, it's pretty round.
so I'm just gonna refrain from saying anything. So that's a really hard situation. I mean, because you know, if you want to send your rest of your family, have them keep going and stay with the kid. But then if you get yourself killed, you know, and injured and wounded, then you know for sure your wife and your other child is alone now. I don't know. You know, it's
That's a personal choice. That's a 6 to 1, half dozen of the other. There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. And you could say this is what I'm going to do, but if it happened tomorrow, you might do something completely different.
yeah, you know.
It's all relative. Yeah, it's a tough scenario. Seriously.
Since people are going on some
Well,
vacations,
thank you, Susan.
what to take, where to go, and be ready to get home ASAP. Well, okay, so basically, what you're going to want to do is wherever it is you are going, you're going to have to plan on, you know, how many days it takes you to get there, and how many days it could take you to get back. Because see, again, that opens up a really broad spectrum of different things. Because you know, is it a CME, a EMP? Did everything go compliant? Is it just that, you know, is it a grid down? You still got time to try to make it home. You know, there's a lot of things to plan for, but the main thing is you know, you want to make sure you have some type of food to last you for a few days to get you started, you know, on a journey home, just in case. And you know, some kind of fire starting deal. And some people will say that not to start a fire. Some people will say to start a fire. It depends. And it's hot like it is now. You ain't gonna need a fire. But if you're in the dead of winter when something like that happens, you know, yeah. But water filtration. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to consider. I would make sure I have a topo map of of from your house to your destination. I would have a complete set of topo maps for them areas, so that you can know where the creeks are. You can know where the might be a mountainside, you know, you can go and sleep on for the night. You know, get yourself up elevated somewhere where it's harder for people to sneak up on you, and things like that. You know, you can sleep on the, you know, on. But anyway. So yeah, there's a lot of things to the topo maps for sure. And I would probably consider how far of a drive it is for you, the distance, and then figure on how much you can walk a day towards going back home. And you may be able to drive for half the time and then have to walk only half the time. So
Yeah. Appalachian Prepper, Ghost, I need advice. I'm not crashing your live, but I just got urgent intel and I need to know how to proceed. It is pretty important. Well, Appalachian Prepper, as long as it doesn't have any of those keywords in it, you know what I'm talking about, then if you want to come up here on the panel and share it with us, I have no problem with that whatsoever. Just give me a second and I'll drop it in the chat for you, but I want to respond to this question real quick. It said, Ghost, I own and live in a mobile home park. I can't get people to see the need in putting food back. That worries me. Also, there's a large pond on the property loaded with crappie, brim, bass, etc. Yeah, that situation, that is a touchy situation, simply because you're in close proximity to a lot of people, Angela. And this is from Angela Bowles. You're in close proximity to a lot of people that don't have the correct mindset. So a couple of things are going to happen. If the balloon actually goes up and it goes really, really high in the air, the people that are actually residing in your area in the trailer park are going to diminish rapidly, because a lot of people are going to leave because they don't have food and supplies. Your issue is how many of those people know that you have food and supplies. You know what I mean? So it's kind of it's a really touchy situation, and that pond is going to get fished out in about a week, for real. Like, if that, it's going to get fished out in a week. So that's not going to be a sustainable everyday kind of thing unless you were the only one fishing it. But yeah, so being in a situation like that in a mobile home park, I would keep what I got quiet to myself, and be ready to defend it and watch the numbers dwindle, as the days go on. Did we hear anything back from Appalachian that you want to come up here and share the intel? I didn't see anything.
Hey, Angela.
Did you want to come?
Oh my gosh.
I'll drop the link if you want to come up.
Hey.
Just don't use any of those crazy words. None of that crazy political stuff. Use your code words that you learned on that other channel that you watch. There it is. Gardner Josh, I don't know. Did Tribe get a strike? Wow, Tribe got timed out for a week. Tribe posted what? Ohio. What did Tribe post? Tribe just posted that he got timed out for a week, or Tribe posted something and it got him timed out for a week?
Well, let's see. Man, it's hot, dude.
Mm-hmm. Please elaborate on that for me, Ohio.
I know he posted something earlier about he was going to do a live stream tonight after yours, but I don't see it here now.
Here comes Appalachian.
All right.
Hello.
Howdy, 10-4.
Oh, it's a thumbnail that he posted.
Yep.
Okay. He posted a thumbnail and he got timed out for a week for a thumbnail. Man, what was on that thumbnail?
Wow, because it's still showing that he's going live. His channel's there.
We'll find out soon enough. What time is he going live? 10 o'clock?
Yeah, well, yeah, it'll be 10 o'clock your time, 9 mine, in an hour.
Pretty sure it said he got a strike and he won't be on for a week. Wow. Well, him and Just Josh been swinging for the fence for a couple weeks. So, I mean, they're spitting the truth, but who knows what happened. What do you got, Appalachian? Don't get me a strike, man.
No, Ghost. Sorry, I always want to call you sir. I can't help it. I do it to everybody. I don't want to come on here and scare everybody to death. That's not my intention, but this just literally dropped, so I have not had the opportunity to vet any of it. But apparently we have legitimately went DEFCON 1, non-nuclear, which means everybody's in the air, high alert. Again, I have not had the opportunity to prove that, and so I didn't even know how to proceed. But Europe today experienced a lot of what we've seen in the cyber ransom area.
Yeah.
And we've seen all these intermittent power outages. And I don't know this person that I got this information from. Like I said, I've not had time to vet them. However, according to them, we should expect within the next few days to go lights out across the board. 10 days or less won't last long, but when everything comes back up, we should expect to see military action, and the GESARA or the RV will go into full effect, or QF, which is the new world monetary system. Again, I don't mean to come in here and crash or upset anybody, but this rattled my chain a little bit, and I don't get rattled easy.
Well, here's
But
the thing. If we were at, and I'll check right now, if we were at DEFCON 1, we would not be talking on YouTube right now.
Okay. Now, I went and checked, and I don't see it on my end, DEFCON 1, but I don't have clearance either. So we can check, but are we?
If we were at DEFCON 1, we would not be communicating on the internet right now.
Okay.
It could be a heightened level. I'm checking right now. Yeah, if we were at DEFCON 1, we would not be communicating on the internet right now. That's the first thing they would shut down, because the internet is the military's #1 go-to communication system. The internet was designed and built for the military.
Right.
They realize that they can let the civilians use part of it and make money doing it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that would suggest anything like that. I mean, air traffic is way down.
Right.
Yeah,
I can see that too.
Yeah, there's nothing to suggest. But here's the thing: if it was really happening, we're not going to know about it. You know what I mean? You could DEFCON 3, 4, 1, whatever. I mean, if it's a DEFCON 1, we're not going to be talking on the internet.
Okay.
I wouldn't put any weight to that. Number one. Number two, if I'm not mistaken, the person in charge, isn't he overseas right now?
There was a movie shot where they showed his plane leaving, but
That's what I'm saying. So if that were the case,
he may just be in the air for safekeeping. We don't ever really know.
either way, who knows? 6 of one, half a dozen of the others. It's not going to change what I do for the rest of the day or what I'm going to do when I get up in the morning. So
No, but
is
if people are aware and the lights go out, we go in the dark for 10 days. Maybe if they knew what to expect, they wouldn't freak out as bad. If they
I
knew
don't
what
know.
was going on. Now, I'm checking the military flights right now. If I can find the link, go ahead.
Jump that real quick. Well, let's see. Size for these four. I built man, I think it's 2.5 foot wide and 8 foot long, and I've got 6 of them in there. I would I mean, I've seen them in smaller pens than that, but I mean, I would build them if you can find a no dog kennel, that's someone has and has wants to get rid of, and you can get it for a decent price. A dog kennel works real well for a chicken pen, and then you can just put put a little structure in there. I mean, even a dog house, man. I've actually got a dog house out there too that they go in and lay eggs. So anything about 8 or 10 foot long, make it 2 or 3 feet wide, 3 foot wide or so. And I put my top on mine. I just built the top and then put hinges on it, and so I can lift my lid up on the whole chicken run. And it's got chains on. Like I said, I built the video. I made a couple of videos about that stuff, and you can see about how long mine is. It's about 8 foot. So 4 of them will be fine with about an 8 or 10 foot run, about 3 foot wide. Should be plenty.
Yeah, that'd be plenty.
Ghost, were you checking just regular flights or military flights? Because I just pulled up military, and it looks like they're extremely active.
No, they're not. Here's the thing: if they were, you wouldn't be able to see them. All they do is mash the one button, and all the transponders go off.
Yep.
You're seeing what you're allowed to see.
Well, what I'm allowed to see is active, very active. But I don't know. I was trained by former Pentagon, so maybe I don't know anything.
There's only 56 U.S. military aircraft in the air right now above the continental United States.
On your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, civilian, quite a bit more. Oh,
yes. Civilians is hundreds, but I filtered that out. There was something I was going to say. Oh, the guy that crashed the party the other night that you were referring to? You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
Well, I did what I do, and he's not the brightest. He's got a record, lives with his mother in public housing. And
yeah, I'm not even we don't even want to talk about him or what they do, because I don't want to draw any attention to the channel and put a target on us.
Well, he's been taken care of. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Stuart.
But that's all I had. I'm going to go and do some more digging and see what I can find out. I just thought that I would bring that up. If you go lights out, nobody get upset. It's very temporary.
All right. Well, thank you for the heads up. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Over and out.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Japhet, that Northern girls. Yeah, the coop, like I said, you want to build a pen as big as you can make a pen, and give them a lot of room to range around on. And if you just build one like that, you should be able to move it around, so they get fresh grass. If you make a big one like I've got out there and make it where that's where it stays, then you're going to have to understand you'll have to, if you get a lot of rain, you're going to have to put hay down in there and grass clippings because you don't want them to get foot rot, from being in the mud too much. And other than that, I mean, it's not that hard. It's not that bad. Like I said, I've got a couple of videos you can see where his cost. Yeah, see, I built my chicken run out of 1x2s because they're still not too expensive. And once you put the wire on there, and I took and crimped all the, I pulled it as tight as I could, but then I took and crimped in between, all the wire, and really tightened that thing up, and it's pretty sturdy. So,
Virginia.
Hello. I
what's
came
up?
to say hi. I heard
What?
that your Backwoods, I heard your rooster was in town. You know how I love your rooster, so tell us
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, he's still around,
Yeah, no doubt.
meaner than ever. I went out there to feed him a while ago, and because I dropped the food right over the top of the cage, so they can scratch around for it, and so I have to walk right beside the chicken coop, and on the bottom part of that chicken coop, it's got that hard wire on it where they can see and everything. And man, he comes running in there and he slams up against the cage when I walk up there, even when I'm feeding him. He's a mean son of a gun, boy.
I think,
Virginia,
yeah,
you heard I named one of the rabbits after you today, right?
I heard the tail end of it. I was live on another show doing some gardening, and I did catch the tail end. I was, of course, I was lurking the chat, but I didn't hear all of it. So yes, Virginia and a Susanna, huh?
Virginia, Susanna, Milkmaid, Tribe, Backwoods, Za, and what's the other one?
Hate prep for it.
I'm missing one.
That's
It was
two.
Tribe,
Yeah.
Za, Virginia, Susanna, Milkmaid, and Backwoods.
Oh,
that's
that's
6.
so cute. All I can hear in my head is bear chicka bear now. It's kind of weird you did that.
Yeah,
Lady Hammer had a good question. How big of a coop for 5 chickens?
how big of a coop for 5 chickens? I mean, it's as big as you can make it. I mean, that's, to be honest with you, you can, the more room you give them. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I could free range them, I'd free range them. But if you can't, like I can't here, so I mean, I just built my cage out there is, I think it's 8 foot wide and 25 feet long and 7 foot tall.
Wow,
That's a good size.
that's a great size.
That's a good size. Yeah.
So that's how big it is. And then I've got a 10-foot run that's about 2 foot tall, and I let the grass grow up around it. And I've got a deal right over the very top of it, and man, it really shades in there, and they get in there and scratch around in the dirt, and get that cool dirt and lay in there during the summertime. And
Cools them down a little bit. The mud cools them down.
yeah, and keep them plenty of water. But yeah, I mean, It the question I guess would be is how small. I mean, I wouldn't go too small. I mean, I'd give them 10, 12 foot to have some room.
Well, if you've ever looked at a chicken, even in a coop, you'll see them. They'll like store up this energy, and then all of a sudden they'll just throw this burst out where they just go balls out for 10 or 15 feet and flapping their wings and go as fast as they can. They burn off some energy, then they calm down. So if you box them up in something really small, do that. That's not good.
Yeah, that's why they call them chicken runs, man. They burst off down and just,
it's like when my rabbit cages. I built my rabbit cages. Each one of my cages is, oh my goodness, at least twice as big as most other people's cages for their hutches, because I want my rabbits, when they're full grown, I want them to be able to completely stand up on their back legs and reach up and stretch out, and be able to do that. They can stand up and stretch out and lay out and flop around and run in circles and burn off some energy. They're good. But like the one rabbit, actually it's the one, this Susanna, is a maniac. This rabbit literally can run laps around the cage, but she doesn't touch the bottom of the cage. She only touches the four walls. Like she looks like one of them old Harley drivers at the circus, the board racers that go around the edges. That's what she looks like running around this cage. She makes the whole cage move. She turns over everybody's water, and then she just calms down. And then she chills out for the next 6 hours and just lays there. But that's how she blows out the energy. She just runs around. It's maniac.
That is amazing. I can't wait to see how these rabbits develop their personalities, and if it's like any of us prep breeders.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I bred Za today. I bred my first rabbit today. I got 3 really good fall offs in about 5 minutes, which shocked me. I was like, holy cow, it worked just like they said on YouTube. So in 30 days, I should have my first litter, which is awesome. I'm excited. Yeah. And I moved the cages. I moved them into their new cages out into the woods. So they're under the trees. They're in the woods. So nice and shaded and breezy. It's actually really comfortable out there. I sat out there all day when I was working on the cage. So it should be pretty good.
I did want to say real quick that on that chicken pen, build a chicken pen as big as you can, but understand that the wire is going to be expensive, because if you just put 2x4 wire on there, they can stick their heads out of it, and possums and raccoons and skunks will come and kill them. So you've got to have the smaller chicken wire. Yes. And so you got to have the smaller chicken wire, but just go down and see, about how much, think about how long you want to make, how long you can make the thing and all that and wide. And then, you're just going to have to add it up, and you're going to have to see what fits your yard. I mean, that's the best advice I can give to you, is build it as big as possible,
Yeah.
And if you can only,
as much room as possible.
If you can only do it.
It was like my neighbor, they bought this house, and in the backyard, the people that used to live there, they had kids, and they had a little store-bought, I guess from Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever, kiddie play treehouse. It was elevated 4 feet off the ground, on stilts. It was like a little house. He converted that into his chicken coop. Talking about repurposing. I was like, yeah, man, that rocks. He's got a chicken coop upstairs. He's undercover on the bottom, and then he built a run off to the side. I was like, yeah, that works really good. G2, how are you doing this evening?
Yeah, somebody mentioned 5-gallon buckets earlier, and you can use 5-gallon buckets for them to nest in, and just make sure that you turn the bucket up, because the bucket's going to sit like this. If you set it on the ground, make sure you put something under the back of it so that it's sitting level, so that water or anything can't collect in there, and it'll get nasty down in the bottom. And just make sure the bucket's setting level. But yeah, 5-gallon buckets work great. You can pick them up for $3 a piece at the,
I'm telling you what, man, the value of 5-gallon buckets never ceases to amaze me. I mean, you can do animals, plants, storage, water.
Oh yeah.
Um, so
Take
many
a
things.
Walmart. Now Walmart's gotten to the 5-gallon bucket game. Now they got 5-gallon buckets for like $2 and something
Yeah.
at Walmart. They're not as thick, they're not good quality, but they're buckets.
Sherry Leach, yes. A huge dog pen would be perfect. I would put something on the bottom, you know, if it's that 2x4 wire. So, you know, the normal fence wire that you see, if it's that kind of wire, you can go and get some old barn tin, some old tin off the old tin roof or whatever. You know, it's not too hard to find, and just put it around the bottoms so that, you know, and dig it down in the ground just a little ways, so, you know, so the animals can't get to them, because if you leave them where an animal can get to them, they will get to them.
Yeah.
I've had several chickens get taken out by animals.
Hey, trusting God, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the channel. Something my uncle did too, because he had a whole bunch of that 2x4 wire, is he took about a 4-foot high section and he did the bottom twice and he offset it. So the 2x4 turned into a 1x2. You see what I'm saying? He offset the wire. So it's actually a double layer of wire. It's really, really strong, and he offset it. So the 2x4 turned into a 1x2, which made the holes a lot smaller, and it made the bottom of the run really, really sturdy.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. You know, I like the barn tin idea just because it'll last for years and years and years, and you know, it pretty much, you know, they can't even nose in there. You know what I mean? Even on that wire like you're talking about, you know, they can't even get in it at all. You know.
Yeah.
And
I spent extra time on my rabbit cages. I've got the baby saver wire, the 1/2 inch by 1 inch.
Yeah.
You know, on the bottom and 2 inches up all the way around the sides, and the rest of it is the inch by inch. So, you know, even snakes and stuff can't mess with it. I mean, they might be able to wiggle in, but if they eat, they ain't getting out. So,
right.
But it's high enough up off the ground. I don't think I'm have a problem with that.
If I might quickly say hello to everybody in chat. I've not jumped into this chat, but I see all of you. I saw the hellos, and I'm glad to see each and every one of you. I'm familiar with all of you. It's a wonderful little family here.
Yep.
I mean, here, the stuff people make, all these quick videos about chicken stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can see on them couple of videos I made, Japet, that they're really, it's not that hard. It's just a little bit of imagination, man. And you know, I was going to mention that a minute ago, but Klingon kind of beat me to it. So I'm gonna give her the credit for it. Obviously, the dressers with drawers, yeah, you find some of them old, somebody got an old broke down dresser, them and the drawers in it, man, you put them up on just some wood, you know, on some blocks or something, and you get them up off the ground a little ways, and throw some hay in it and put a tarp over it, man, you got nesting boxes, bro. I mean, it's, you know, you can use them. I mean,
animal Virginia. Hey, North Shore, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the channel.
Hello, North Shore. Good to see you, friend.
Hey, North Shore, what's up, man? But yeah, that's any, you know, the dog pens, man, if you see somebody down the road getting old fence tore down, ask them if you can have that stuff, especially if it's fence wire, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Might be putting up a privacy fence, taking a chain link down. Mm-hmm. Shoot, get that chain link fence. Man, you can make a heck of a cage out of that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good idea to use like refuse. If people look on, for me, I check Craigslist. There's also other local things that are on a lot of Facebook pages, but you can find where people just want to get rid of old fencing or old things that they aren't using anymore, that they don't want to pay to take it to the dump. But one man's trash can be another man's treasure, and you can build all kinds of stuff with all of those spare things that other people are not using or are done using. It still has value.
Let me tell you, when I'm driving down the street and I see especially on trash day or the night before trash day and everybody's putting their stuff out to the road, I slow down at the big piles to see what's in there. I'm like, ooh, what kind of goodies is in there? What can I get from here?
Yeah, I guarantee you. Yeah, you can. I mean, you could just go pull the drawers out of a chest, man, and you could. People, I see them things on the side of the road all the time at the junkyard and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of garbage, at my dump, they actually have a section off to the side with free stuff. They call it a thrift store, which is kind of funny because it's at the dump, but it's a little building on the side where they pull out things, or people can actually donate instead of dumping it, and they just basically give it away, or you can offer a donation. But check your local refuse places, because they also have a side chute at my dump where they sell appliances like refrigerators and whatever, or bikes. If people have the skills to fix them, they're there.
Yeah, they used that here. They stopped it, or at least they did in Florida, because of the lawsuits, the potential lawsuits for somebody picking up something that's been turned over and they get hurt with it. So at the dump in Florida, at least I know, because I saw a lot of really cool stuff I wanted to get and they wouldn't let you take it.
Yeah.
And I had to buy, and they're like, we're gonna open ourselves up for lawsuits. I'm like, it's garbage, dude.
Yeah,
dude, it messes with my head how we have to behave afraid of something that didn't happen yet. Potential lawsuit. I mean, what is that? But depending on your locale, everybody just check that out. Look for free signs. I was driving down the road the other day and there was a free sign, and it was about 30 planting containers, like, little pots to do all different sizes, and just right outside someone's yard, free. So keep your eye out, keep an eye peeled for the letters FREE, and take a look at your local disposal places to see if they have a side area that gives away stuff that could be used.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff.
G2,
man.
I was talking about 10 minutes ago. My neighbor, they upcycled the last people that lived in this house. They left a playhouse that their kids had. It was like a elevated treehouse type playhouse, and they converted that into a chicken coop, chicken run, which is really awesome, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to give them a nice little room to run around where they can do their wing flapping and sprinting and all that crap, and they can get away from each other a little bit too, because you'll notice. I know I do. Out of all the chickens I've ever had, I've always noticed there'll be one or two over sitting somewhere else, like they're like, y'all get away from me, I'm tired of y'all.
Right.
Kind of thing. They kind of go hang off by themselves or whatever. So just make one as big as you can. Utilize, man. If somebody's got an old dog kennel down the road that all broke down or whatever, man, you can lay them panels down on the ground if they're bent, and you can drive up on the top of them and bend back.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool part is you always expand. I mean, it's just wire, cut a hole, put an extra room on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can always make it bigger. Just start. Just start.
Repurposing is a really important skill. If you have that creativity and imagination to look at something as, well, this is what it was made for, but I could convert it to this. Of course, keeping safety in mind always and not over MacGyvering, but I save a lot of money by taking even pieces of fence. You can make a like a planter box. if it's not good for fencing itself, you can still take it apart a little bit and put together a little plant box.
Yeah.
Shoot, if I didn't have any money and could junk some stuff together, man, finding somebody that's got an old broken refrigerator, you can take and cut a couple of holes in the doors, remove the shelves off the doors, cut a couple of holes in the doors, and put a little deal over the top there where the rain can't blow in, and then you could put nesting, because it's got the regular shelves in it. You could use that, and when you get ready to look for the eggs, you just open the door on the refrigerator. I mean, you could get one free, and you ain't got no money to really build a chicken pen like you'd like. Shoot, I mean, all kinds of stuff like that can be utilized.
Yeah.
It's just what kind of imagination do you got?
Exactly. That's what you got to do.
Well, I kind of knew about or had thought about the boxes, the drawers out of a dresser before, because when I was a baby, they didn't have car seats, and hell, a lot of vehicles didn't hardly have any seat belts in them. But the one we had a seat belt in it, but to carry me around, my mom used to put me in a dresser drawer. She'd bring a dresser drawer out there and put it in the back seat of the car, and use the seat belts to strap it in there, and that's where I rode around as a baby when she had to go places.
That's an amazing story. I'm picturing it, and wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I was brought home from the hospital, no seatbelt. Is the 70s, and it wasn't law yet. Yeah, I was just sitting on my mom's lap all the time. I mean, I remember driving with my grandparents on their laps, just in the truck, going down the road. You could never do that now.
Yeah.
I remember going on family trips, me and my 3 siblings, mom, dad, a couple of aunts, uncles, in an F-100 Ford pickup truck with a camper shell on the back. And we were doing a 5-hour drive to go see family, and we would take a mattress off one of the single beds in my brother's room and put it in the bed of the pickup truck. And everybody just piled in the back of the truck, and we were on the highway for 5 hours in the back of the truck.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
Yeah, that's just the way we did it.
Yep, them old metal camper shells, and yep, you just take off down the road, man, and yep, everybody,
back of the pickup truck, and you're like, what's going on? Back in the day, that's how you got from A to B. I mean, if there wasn't no air conditioning, you wanted to ride in the back of the truck.
Yeah, I ain't no kidding.
Oh yeah.
My grandfather had one of those campers, and he also had a little Ford truck, and it was amazing. And he built me and my brothers a seat in the back. That he actually built a seatbelt housing and built us little seats, because he was a very conscientious man. He was always concerned for our safety. We'd go on fishing trips and whatever, but it was kind of jerry-rigged. But it was, like fold down seats with a belt on it. And we were basically strapped into the back of the truck, but it worked itself out. I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart, did you get brake checked?
I have been brake checked on more than one occasion.
Dad keeps telling you to sit back and be like, all right, brake check you real quick, and you slam your head on the dash, and he's like, yeah, imagine if you was going through the windshield, boy. It's like, what the hell? He'd be like, he'd look over, he'd be like, I bet you're gonna learn to sit back in that damn seat now, ain't you?
Should have only took one time.
Right.
Jeep girl, what's going on? Stuart W.
Jeep girl, what's up? But I don't know, man. Yeah, just try to get the people you can, you know, people you meet, try to see if they're into the same ideas and stuff. A lot of people are, especially when you go out more to the country.
Well, it's
And
kind of funny because I even made a statement that I wasn't part of a mag and I didn't plan on being part of a mag. I was not actively looking for mag members, but
right,
just by being normal, I've looked into my two neighbors with the chickens. I looked into the guy yesterday with the rabbits and the chickens, a couple miles from me. And these are people that I'm going to network with, from now on. They think like me. They're preparing for things in the future. And I didn't actively go look for them, but people with the same hobbies or whatever you want to call it. If you're into rabbits, you're eventually going to meet somebody that's into rabbits, and you're gonna gain knowledge, and you're gonna learn stuff. And I mean, if you meet somebody that's got rabbits and they're growing them for meat, then obviously you have something in common. They're not paying overpriced at the grocery store, so that's somebody that you want to network with.
Jeep girl, make sure you. I'm sure you know this. I mean, we just always want to reassure each other. Just make sure that you are putting lids over them 5-gallon buckets of water. If that's what it is, if you're collecting them in 5-gallon buckets or in any kind of buckets, make sure you put some type of lid over them. Otherwise, you're going to start getting a lot of mosquito larvae, and they're going to be all around you.
You still about rainwater?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Either put a lid on it or pour in about a quarter cup of vegetable oil, and that'll stop your mosquitoes. Keep your water clean and clear.
Yeah. That's an important memo about mosquitoes in general, though. Mosquitoes spread a tremendous percentage of the disease in this world at any given time, and it's standing water that attracts them. So,
And it only a couple.
Hey, Pinball.
Hey, Pinball, what's going on?
Hello, Pinball.
Got a master celebrity in the chat.
Right.
Pinball. And so just make sure that you protect your water from mosquito larvae.
Yeah, I mean the old school way. If you're collecting rainwater, I mean you can legit drink it. If you don't have like a fancy net or anything to keep the mosquitoes out, if it's a 55-gallon drum, pour you in about a half a cup, maybe even a cup of vegetable oil, just right on the top, and that oil rides to the top, and it'll make a layer. The mosquitoes won't have larvae there. It keeps dirt and trash from sinking into the water, and you can literally go over there with a cup and just scoot the vegetable to the side and get you a cup of fresh water. Mm-hmm. And you run it through. I mean, you can run that stuff through your Berkey or whatever, and have a great day. But it'll keep the mosquitoes out. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Well, and I was just thinking too. I mean, even if you're going to filter it, just having mosquito larvae in there, if you're going to drink it, if you can.
Oh yeah.
Try to keep them out of there.
Yep.
Yeah, but I've done it a couple times with the vegetable oil, and it works really, really good. And I don't know if it's like a smell, but you don't even have dead bugs floating on the vegetable oil on the top. It's like they just stay away from it. I guess they can smell it. I don't know. It's really weird. The only thing I usually had in the top of it was like pine needles, a leaf, normal stuff that's blowing around, but there was no living or post-living bugs floating on top of the vegetable oil, at least in my experience.
Yeah, that works real good. I've got a screen system in mine and everything. I got it basically where they can't get in there anyway to it.
Screens, pantyhose works really, really well, especially for like your overflow tubes, the small tubes. Just put you a piece of pantyhose on it. That works really good.
Yep.
Yeah. People have brought up pantyhose in the past.
I mean, if it's just water for. Do what?
Oh, just pantyhose. I think it's a really good prep. People have brought it up in the past, and I think it's a great prep. You have a tie off. It could be a rope if you absolutely had to use it. It's very flammable. You can use it as a filter. You can stretch them out and put them over the top of something to keep stuff out. I think pantyhose is kind of, it gets joked about, but I think it's a pretty good prep.
Shoot, I got some.
It's a very
I got some pantyhose in my catfish box because I used a lot of chicken liver, and I've got some of that fly tie, to like tie your lures with. And man, I just cut a nice little size piece of pantyhose off, and I put that chicken liver on there, and then pull that pantyhose up and tie it up, and that your chicken liver stays on there, and it squeezes. I cut just a big enough piece that I have to kind of stretch it a little, and it squeezes, and so the blood and stuff, it gets all soaked in that chicken blood, and man, it works great. And your chicken livers don't fly
Here's
off.
another one. Here's another one for you with pantyhose. This is straight from the military. I did a lot of road marching when I was in the military and with the 10th Mountain Division. We walked everywhere, and it was almost required to wear pantyhose. It stopped with the chafing from walking several miles a day, like 30, 40 miles a day. But the best part was in cold weather. If you're in like super cold weather, 20s, teens, 0 or below, and you're outside working in the cold, always it is. I did it the first time. I thought it was stupid. I was like, this is crazy, until I did it and it worked. If you wear a pair of pantyhose and then put your outer garments on, the pantyhose creates a layer in between your skin and your clothing, an air layer, an air gap, and it actually keeps you warmer, at least the bottom half of your body. It's pretty neat. Upstate in New York, I wore pantyhose every time I went to the field. I don't care. Laugh at me. It works.
Yeah. I'd like to see that, actually.
I'm pretty sure that my cousin. I'm pretty sure that my cousin is listening, because he was asking me about it today, and he comes and watches us, Ghost. He don't ever comment or anything, but he does watch us. And so if you're out there listening, I want to let you know that I'm going to bring you a pair of pantyhose for you to wear this winter so you don't get cold.
Yeah.
You see, Backwoods just backed me up on that. He won't in the Army too when the road marches. It's a must-have. It's a serious comfort item on a road march or a long bug out.
It's just still kind of weird, though. I mean, I can't imagine sitting down and a bunch of guys in there, and somebody starts putting on pantyhose, and you're like,
the first couple times it is really weird until you realize that everybody around you is wearing them too, and then you realize how good it works. Then it's like, nah, no big deal. It's like wearing socks.
Yeah, you're in it together.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, howdy.
It seriously prevents chafing big time, because especially if you got big legs or big thighs and you're doing a whole lot of walking and there's a whole lot of rubbing. Yeah, you don't want that. Not 30 miles down the road. You don't want that.
Yeah. Backwoods, maybe you would feel better in your prepper banana hammock if you wore fishnets. Then,
Maybe I might be a little more used to that.
It's just an idea. We like to bounce ideas around.
Yeah. Well, for a long time, Northern Girl, she kept on about me having one of them rabbit fur ones, because I do some leather work, and I've got some rabbit fur and stuff that I put around a knife sheath, and kind of made it look old school. And she teased me for a long time about having a fur banana hat, rabbit fur.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm trying to keep it together here. These comments are crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't even right.
Well, on that note, I'm going to jump down. I've got a youngin to feed, and it's been a pleasure, boys. I'm happy to see everybody. And I'll see you soon, probably over at our neighbor's house. So maybe in a little bit. But it's been fun. I'll check y'all later, okay?
Thank you for coming up, Virginia.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's called a Furby. Yeah.
Prepper banana. I like that.
Wait, how did this turn wrong? That's what I was just thinking, Jeff. I was like, we were talking about chickens and rabbits and stuff a while ago, and see what Virginia does. That's
happened,
Virginia.
It happened. Somebody.
It's Virginia's fault. She come on and made it all different.
Somebody said pantyhose, and I went down the rabbit hole. Awesome, Sheila. Well, if you want to, you can always tune in with us tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We're going to be canning some potatoes.
Yeah,
live.
If you're nervous and you're all new at it, Sheila, you could be over there with them, and they can kind of help walk you through it. They're really good at that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They very explanatory.
Can with a slide. Mm-hmm. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Canning polar bears tomorrow, 8 p.m. Yeah.
So
Had a ton wow. Had a ton of those drawers. Was shocked how many ran across. Yeah, it's kind of weird because sometimes I'll go into the Walmart and the grocery stores around here, and I won't see jars at all, for 2 weeks. And then one day I walk into Walmart. Last week I took a picture. They must have had 50 cases up on the shelf, all quarts. Wow. Then the next day you go back and they're all gone, but no lids. You can buy the jars with the rings and the lid, but you can't buy the replacement lids. I have hardly ever seen those. North Shore, I did canned baked beans twice. I tried them twice, and both times I ended up dumping them out. I copied a recipe word for word. It was supposed to be better than the Boston baked beans, and they weren't very good at all. I feel you on that.
I wonder what the deal is with not being able to do baked beans.
Well, it's when the canning process, that pressurized process at the heat, any kind of seasoning that's in the food, it gets kicked up like 10 notches.
Right.
So if you had 1/8 of a teaspoon of basil, and it went through the canning process, that 1/8 of a teaspoon turned into 4 tablespoons.
Right.
So any kind of seasoned food that you tried to can, it just kicks it away. Like it's literally unedible. Sheila, please do join us tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Just if you're going to join us tomorrow, just get your potatoes, go ahead and have them peeled and diced up and ready to go, and we'll start canning at 8 o'clock. Yeah, the last thing I need is rings. I feel you, B. I got rings coming out of my booty. Yes, I try to season. I try to not season what I'm canning at all. Maybe a little bit of salt. That's it. A little bit of canning salt. That's it. Other than natural flavorings, if I'm canning it like with some bacon or ham or sausage or something like that. But as far as external seasonings, I wait until I open it right before I eat it. Oh yeah, how did the ghee turn out, Northern Girl? Did you video it?
So what was I think it was Sandra Moody talking about she had butter or something or cheese or I don't know, the ghee.
Sandra Moody?
It was last night, I think, on prep for it deal. It's talking about having the stuff all down. I was wondering, did one of her cans bust or something?
Oh,
Or
I
something
don't
happened.
know.
Or something happened. It got all in her stove.
No. Oh yeah. No, when we were doing the ghee, yeah. One of her jars popped or something, and it like butter went everywhere, all over her, all over the stove, all over everything. So she had to
Oh,
like shut it down, clean it up, start over. Yeah.
oh
I mean,
crap!
she didn't get
That's
burnt or
horrible.
anything. But
That's
and the
horrible.
funny thing was making the ghee was actually a lot of fun. I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought it'd be a pain in the butt, but it was a really cool process. It was kind of like it was almost like making jelly or jam. It was
Hmm.
is like you had to be a part of it from start to finish.
I'm glad she's okay and everything. I'm glad everything's all right. But
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah, she was fine.
sucks to
Gave
have.
everything up and came back and canned some ghee. She finished up right after we did.
Yeah, she said that she had to. They had to tear her stove all apart.
I can
So I guess
imagine
it
if it
all.
got all down to the cracks and everything else, that would have been a whole lot of smoke the next time you tried to bake something or cook something.
I'm glad she's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
But
tomorrow we're just gonna do simple potatoes. I'm gonna do about 10 pounds, dice them up, and just have them put up and ready. And then next week we're gonna do raw packed chicken.
raw packed chicken. I'm gonna tell you, I'm loving that new air fryer I got. I bought a
I
brand
got
new one.
I use quite a bit.
It's one of the big ones, like a toaster oven.
Yeah.
You know, it looks like a toaster oven, and but it's an air fryer also, and a rotisserie. And man, I've been cooking a bunch of stuff in it just to see what all I can cook in it. And it freaking makes some good. I cooked a filet mignon in it the other day, and it in the air fryer, and it was good.
Well, North Shore just he brought the topic up, so I'll go ahead and say it. Our special guest for next Saturday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, is Sutton's Days. She's going to come on and show us her way of doing the raw pack chicken. She can only stay for about an hour, but she's going to start the show with us and talk through the process, and then we're going to do it. So Sutton's Days will be with us, canning live next Saturday. That is a good question. If you get a jar of beans that's too strong, could you mix it with an unseasoned jar? Yeah, I guess you could actually. I don't see why not. Kind of dilute the flavor a little bit.
Yeah, because I mean, it sucked to throw it out. You know.
Yeah, unsalted. Yeah, I did salted. The next time I do it, I'm going to do unsalted because and I cooked mine a little bit longer because I wanted more of the nutty flavor. But it is quite salty to taste. It's quite salty. Not too salty, but it'll be fine for cooking stuff. You know, if I'm going to fry a rabbit or fry a steak or something, it'll be perfectly fine. But as far as spreading on toast, I think it's going to be a little overpowering. So from now on, I'm going to do unsalted butter. Dusty, I have a confession. I'm shoplifting meats to get my canning fix. LOL. Yeah, it's kind of like crack, man. Once you start canning, every time I go to the store, I try to find something else to can.
Yeah, I'll be hopefully because I got a package in, and I was going to do an unboxing of it, but it's you know it's
Yes,
hopefully.
Chris. Not only do I can Brunswick stew, it's homemade Brunswick stew. My father has a recipe that's just awesome. We make a big, like 16 quart witch's kettle of Brunswick stew like twice a year, and I'll can it up. I've got probably 3 cases of Brunswick stew canned downstairs. It is intense flavor wise the first time I did it, but what we did is I just backed like all the seasonings that you put in it. If it called for a teaspoon of blah, I put a quarter teaspoon, and it brought it back so that the canning process actually made it really good.
But hopefully, starting after this weekend, things will kind of straighten out, and I'll have a good week. I can get stuff prepared. I want to do mine like Dusty did. I want to come on your show and can for the first time on your show, and I want to do it like Dusty out there on the, like on the grill or whatever. However,
if you do it on propane, if you do it on a burner, just make sure that you can really adjust the heat and bring it down low. Because Virginia's burner, she set it on the lowest setting, and it was cooking pressure through the roof, so she had to bring hers inside. But Dusty was able to get his dialed down really low. Like with her, I think it had a lot to do with the wind, because when she dialed it down real low, it just kept blowing the fire out.
Right. Well, I can bring mine.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Leslie, it works the same, salted or unsalted. It just depends on your taste, what you want.
I can bring my grill right inside the shop right there if I need to, if the wind is trying to act up. So that won't be that big of a deal. Heck yeah.
Prepper Tribe's going live? Okay.
Yeah, Prepper Tribe is. Jeep Girl, thank you for stopping in. Everybody, thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, Northern Girl. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 90 minutes for the pea soup. Pretty sure. I think the only bean that you don't have to go 90 minutes on is lima in a pressure canning process. Pretty sure lima beans are the only ones you don't have to go 90 minutes on. Eric Johnson, yes, I will be canning chili, stew, and sloppy joe. I actually have chili, stew, and sloppy joe already canned in the basement, but those are some of the meals that we plan on canning in the upcoming weeks. Yeah. I'll put a survey up in the community chat to let everybody vote on what we can next. But you guys, Prepper Tribe's going live, and we've been going for over 2 hours, so I think we're going to go ahead and shut it down and go over and hang out with Tribe for a little while. Northern Girl, thank you. I think we're going to go show Prepper Tribe some love, and I want to thank everybody for coming in here tonight and hanging out with us for 2 hours. I want to thank all my mods. You guys do an awesome job. Thank everybody for all the birthday wishes and all that good stuff. And tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we are canning potatoes. If you have a pressure canner and potatoes and you want to join us, please join us. If you just want to watch, please watch. There's no telling what's going to go on. The cannibals get crazy when the sun goes down. Suzanne will be there. Virginia Roots will be there. And everybody else will be there. And we're just going to can up some potatoes. So thanks for stopping by.
Sounds great.
Thank you, North Shore. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by, and hopefully I'll see all you guys tomorrow night. And tomorrow night we're canning, and Sunday night 8 o'clock on the Backwoods channel. It's Prep Rally with Backwoods and Ghost on his channel, Sunday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. So that's it for tonight, guys. We will see you later. Y'all have a good one.
Peace out.